After another heated argument with his parents, Tyler Robinson left his home. He was a troubled teenager after getting involved with some bad company and taking some wrong decisions. He got himself wrapped up in some harmful habits. Tyler no longer had that simple life from school to home. He was doing poorly in school and practically wasting his time and life on the wrong path. His parents were highly disapproving of his choices. But things became complicated at home when his mother discovered what exactly he was doing. Both his mother and father warned him numerous times to stop all this. They tried to counsel him, they were willing to help him to change. But Tyler didn't want to change. On the contrary, Tyler wanted his parents to accept him for who he was. Don, how am I going to make this boy understand? This is what I found in his room. Son, what do you think you're doing? You're harming your health, your studies, you're ruining your future. The only reason he's turned like this is because he's been hanging out with those horrible kids. They're my friends, Mom. Tyler, they aren't your friends. They're only ruining you, your future and your career. It's time you wake up and realize what you've gotten yourself into before it's too late to turn back. Listen, Tyler, if they were your friends, your well-wishers, they wouldn't be doing all this and they wouldn't be dragging you into it. You think this is fun? Don't you see what you've become? You weren't like this before. This is who I am. I can't help it. If you can't accept me the way I am, there's nothing I can do. Don't expect me to change. Son, I'm trying to help you. Can't you see? It's not in your control anymore. Just stop. I can't do this. I can't have this conversation with you guys. Tyler, where are you going? What to you? This is my life. I can do whatever I want. Tyler paid no heed to his parents and stormed out. He was on his way to the park to meet up with his gang. Hey dude, what's up? What took you so long? We almost started without you. Don't ask, my mother found out. You were supposed to hide it. I did, but you know how my parents are. What's wrong with your mother, dude? What does she think of herself? Yeah, just because she's your mother doesn't mean she can pry in your stuff. You have a right to privacy, you know. As Tyler sat down with his buddies, he suddenly caught gaze of a girl just a distance away. Watching them, it was Kylie Mitchell. They went to the same school. It had been a while since Tyler had been crushing on her, but she never paid him any attention. Kylie was at the park when she spotted Tyler with a few other guys. She was quite surprised to see him like this. She knew him from school for quite a few years now, but he wasn't like this before. He's changed so much. She wondered what got into him. Why was he doing all of this? The next day, when Kylie went to school, she searched the crowd looking for Tyler. She had spotted him hanging out by the bleachers before, so she walked out to the field, and as she expected, there he was. Hi, Tyler, right? I'm Kylie. I know who you are. I saw you at the park yesterday. So what? What do you want? Nothing. I just wanted to talk to you. We go to the same school, we're neighbors, we go to the same park, so I thought we might just be friends, right? Aren't you getting late for class? Want to go together? All right. Tyler was a bit surprised by how nice Kylie was to him. Usually the girls in his school stayed away from him, and he didn't have many friends either. It felt good to speak to someone who didn't judge him. Over the days, Kylie and Tyler started to hang out, and before long, they became good friends. And it was ever since he had started spending time with her, Tyler stopped hanging out with his other friends, and he tried to stay sober too. They went around town, ate at BI Burgers, and even went to the arcade once. Things at home had also gotten better. It had been almost a couple weeks that he hadn't fought with his parents. Life seemed like it was getting better. It was one afternoon. Kylie texted him to pick her up from home. "Hurry, okay? I'm waiting for you. The ice cream parlor isn't going to be open all day." "Alright, I'll be there soon." Tyler got ready and went to her house and casually knocked on her door. But it was Mr. Mitchell, her father, who opened. "Is Kylie home?" "What do you have to do with her?" "She called me here." "No, Kylie never called you, and she isn't going anywhere with you. And if I see you anywhere near my daughter, or you try to bother her again, you will face the consequences. I'm sorry, but you're misunderstanding. Get off of my property right now." Tyler nervously backed away. He noticed a few neighbors staring at him. Embarrassed and humiliated, Tyler hurried out of there and went straight back home. He felt so enraged, but he couldn't do anything about it. So what if Kylie was hanging out with him? It wasn't even like they were together. He waited for Kylie's message, but the next few days went by and she didn't talk to him. Even at school, they usually met during lunch break by the bleachers, but Tyler sat there all alone. He lay in bed one night wondering if he would ever speak to Kylie again. Maybe she got in trouble that day. It was around 10 p.m., however, that he suddenly got a message. And it was from her. "Tyler?" "What?" "Sorry about what happened that day. My dad can be short-tempered." "Whatever. Don't be mad at me. I want to make it up to you." "And what do you have in mind?" "They're not home. Come over. I'll surprise you. And bring some, okay? Let's have a little fun." "You want to try? Are you sure?" "Yeah, just bring it." "Alright. When will you be here? 2 hours?" Seeing the text put a smirk on Tyler's face. What did that man say to him? Stay away from his daughter? Now he was going to enjoy his daughter. So Tyler first met up with one of his friends across town and picked up a stash, after which he traveled back to Kylie's place and reached there sometime around midnight. Kylie opened the door before he even knocked and pulled him inside. "Did you get the stuff?" "Yeah." "Nice. Now come on, I need your help." Kylie excitedly grabbed a toolbox and took Tyler down to the basement door, which had a huge padlock on it. "My dad locks up his booze in here. We're gonna get it," she said, handing Tyler the hammer. "And what about when he finds out we broke in here?" Kylie shocked. "Come on, Tyler, you wanna have fun or not?" So Tyler broke the lock and Kylie sneaked in and got some of the booze, after which they plopped down on the sofa laughing. "Is this going to be your first time?" "Yeah, kinda nervous. You go first." "Alright, but it's been a while since I've done this." Tyler took a first round, trying to shake it off. The stuff was strong. "Is that all you take?" "No, I've taken more before." "Is there like a limit? What's the highest dose you took?" "Why, are you planning on getting really high?" "Well, if we're gonna do it, better do it good." Tyler chuckled as he took another round. His vision was starting to get compromised. He was starting to feel dazed. He could loosely make out Kylie waving her hands in front of him. "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine," he said half-mindedly. "I'll be right back." As Tyler leaned back on the sofa waiting for Kylie, he suddenly started to hear police sirens outside. Before he could make out anything, police officers barged inside, surrounding him. Kylie ran out and suddenly began crying profusely, pointing at him. "Officers, it was him. He tried to take the life of my parents. Please, save them." Tyler was immediately handcuffed, but no longer in his senses. He didn't understand what was going on. Why are the cops here? Why are you arresting me? Kylie led the officers into the kitchen, where they were disturbed seeing the gruesome remains of her parents. Kylie Mitchell, she was a troubled kid herself. She was the only daughter to her parents, Rob and Janet Mitchell. She had grown up following rules and regulations. Her father was overly strict, and her mother was a snitch. By the time she reached her teens, she had become fed up with this life and started to become rebellious. She began dating a guy, and at the age of 16, she discovered she was pregnant. When her parents found out, they were devastated. They kept the incident a secret and forced Kylie to break up with her boyfriend and ended her pregnancy. It was a tough time for Kylie, and afterwards, life only became more difficult. Her parents were more restrictive and kept an eye on everything she did. She wasn't allowed to date or even hang out with people they didn't approve of. If you don't want to listen, leave this house right now and do whatever you want. You can keep relationship with us or cut us off, but as long as you live in this house, you live under our roof, you have to listen to us. This is our house. You will follow our rules. Kylie's life had become miserable. She was desperate to have freedom, but she didn't want to leave. She didn't want to go out there and work an odd job for her living when she had this house and could live on her parents' money. But the only way she could have the best of both worlds was if she got rid of her parents. Once they were gone, everything would become hers. She would be set for life. But first, Kylie needed a foolproof way to pull this all off. And she found it the day she spotted Tyler at the park. Kylie knew this boy had a really bad reputation. He would be the perfect culprit to frame for this. So Kylie intentionally befriended him. Tyler hadn't realized, but Kylie had taken him to places where her parents' friends would spot them. She took him to a store where one of her mother's friends worked, and was really close to Tyler right in front of her. And as she expected, the very next day her parents came to speak to her about it. Because that woman had snitched on her. Tyler isn't the kind of boy you want your daughter spending time with. I saw them together. I just wanted to warn you. Her parents were furious. They began scolding her, but Kylie had already prepared for this. Dad, I told him not to bother me, but we go to the same school. He keeps messaging me and following me around. Kylie had convinced her parents that Tyler was harassing her. And when she called Tyler to pick her up, she got the perfect reaction she wanted from her father. Thanks to him, the whole block knew Tyler's intentions and would now believe her when she said it was him who had taken the lives of her parents. A couple days later, Kylie then messaged Tyler and offered him a good time, to which he agreed because, come on. Kylie knew he was a pig after all. When Tyler confirmed he was coming, Kylie prepared for the last part of her plan. She cooked up a dish for her parents. I made Chinese food. Try it out. A newfound hobby. I'm happy you're trying something new, Kylie. As her parents enjoyed it, they didn't realize they were eating their last meal. Kylie had mixed something in it. Rob, I'm not feeling well. Me too. Rob looked up at his daughter as a psychotic smile appeared on her lips. He held his head, breathing heavily. What have you done? What have I done? You didn't spare a moment to make my life difficult. Restrictions on top of restrictions. How does it feel now, not being in control, not being able to do anything? Kylie got up and took out a hammer as her parents started to lose consciousness. Now I'll do whatever I want, and you won't be able to stop me. As her parents lay lifeless in a pool of blood, Kylie then went on with the rest of her plan. When Tyler arrived, the first thing she made him do was put his fingerprints on the hammer. Then she innocently got Tyler to waste himself And just when he wasn't in the senses to react, Kylie called the police. My parents are injured. My boyfriend's going to kill them. I need the police here, quickly. As the police handcuffed Tyler and took him out, Kylie cried profusely, explaining what had happened. The other day, my parents and my boyfriend got into an argument. They disapproved of him. I didn't know he was like this. He told me it was all rumors. I stopped talking to him, but he broke in and did this. Officer, we found the murder weapon. Don't worry, your parents will get the justice they deserve. As Kylie followed the officer, one of the paramedics suddenly called out from the kitchen. They're still alive. It seems they were taking some sort of medication that helps stop the bleeding. We have to get them to the hospital right away. Kylie froze, seeing numerous officers and paramedics rush to take her parents to the ambulance. It must have been the pills she sedated them with. But after all this, if they survived, what was going to happen to her? Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.